Hey, everybody. We're about to watch Apollo Robbins talk to us about a very important principle you need to know if you want to do great magic. This is What's Flight Time and why it matters to you. Now, Apollo, when you had that realization that you had a big problem of framing, that if they didn't know and if it wasn't set up beforehand, all this chaos was going to ensue, violence was going to ensue. Did that immediately trigger this reality of, oh, I don't have an act that works if you know it's coming? Like, did that shift? Did you have that magic ready, or was that like, oh, now that's what I got to build six times?
It evolved along the way. I think I started, like other people, Stars of Magic, other things, learning certain bits of stealing watches, but I had different things that factored in. I guess that I saw a lot of things when I was a kid that were more adrenaline invoking. I guess I was around a lot of things that would be more crime related, that were more intense. So when you fail at a magic trick, you get caught. I saw you steal. I saw you take a card. I saw you do this. So when you're doing pickpocketing, it escalates the game, because now if you're caught with something, you're handing someone, it's really important about the context, and also not just the audience you're working for, but they might get side tackled by someone else who's watching it just outside that fold. So it's often something when I see people trying to do pickpocketing on the street or other things, that I kind of just cross my fingers for them, because there's a lot of precautions that come with pickpocketing that don't traditionally come with magic. So I've all mine along the way. I had a great place to experiment. I did the same act. It was 10 minutes long. I did it here, let me go step back. When I performed at Caesar's Magical Empire, the job that they finally gave me, it was at the beginning of a show. 24 people would come into a space, and I was asked to steal from 4 people for the function of the show. So I'd steal from somebody, hand off something to a role in the show for them to give it back. And then those people would leave and another group would come in. So every 10 minutes, I had another group of 24 people. It's kind of like a conveyor belt. And that's what gave me the reps, right? So I steal from 4 people, 6 times an hour, 24 people an hour, 5 hours a night, 5 nights a week, 5 years. So it's a lot of people during that time. And that became a good place to be bad. Even though it was a professional environment, it also became something like, let me try to see, they can't understand what I'm saying because it's a group without a translator. I wonder if I could steal the guy's belt. Can I steal glasses? And so I started just trying to experiment inside that context. And that was where this whole thing kind of blossomed out.
I remember when he was doing that work at Caesar's Magical Empire, Steve, and he was working hard. Every night, all night, he was pounding out thousands of reps doing that show.
I mean, what a gift, right? Like to have that amazing incubator for your act, where you can just, 24 people in a room, you have 10 minutes to steal 4 things, and you just do that at repetition over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Big people, short people, little people, right? Like all kinds of people. Like, how are you not going to become an expert, right? How is it not going to happen? It can't. And that's the key to magic, right? Do the same things over and over again with different audiences, and you get better and better and better, and that's the key. Reps, flight time.
It's the thing that makes him unique and makes him Apollo, right? He had the opportunity to be able to do this very thing and hone this skill that no one else has. And by doing that, he became so unique that he's the guy, right? He is the magic guy that can show a magic show to magicians and fool them just as hard as laymen. And I think that's the thing that's happened with us watching Apollo that makes this also so awesome, is that we're being fooled as bad as if we knew nothing about magic, because he's doing a magic trick that we really don't understand. And we're seeing him do it over and over again and get us over and over again. And the only reason we can even appreciate this is because of this flight time, because he's done this work that you can't take back, right? Once you put in that work, no one can ever take that away from you. He has an indelible skill that he'll have for the rest of his life, even if he decides to only use it for like little moments here and there. It's just, we're fortunate that we get to see him use it for good, which is performing, spreading joy.
Yeah, I was going to say, uses it for good.
And here's why it matters to you, because in part 1, we learned where it all came from. We learned how it all developed and why. And that's important because he's going to be sharing with us the fruits of that flight time, because what he has been very careful to tell me that all our members are going to be discovering in part 2 is that all the skills that he's using to create the tremendous illusion that you've seen him create, whether you've seen him on a big stage or on a street or on a video or wherever, they're magic skills. And it all comes down to very simple but secret ideas. This improvisational misdirection, we're going to learn simple examples of how it works and effects we can do without having Apollo's level of flight time, which is needed to create new kinds of magical concepts, right? This is going to be miracle class effects that you can start using wherever it is you're hiding out, getting your flight time, whether it's for your mom, where Johnny Carson used to do his magic growing up for his mother every day, like I did, or you're getting out there in the big bad world. These are going to be miracles that only 2 or 3 people get to learn every generation. And we're astonished that we get to do it. It's really astonishing, Steve. We were just talking the other day. These are miracles we've all wanted to learn our whole life. You know, if I just learn how to put a coin on someone's shoulder without them noticing, Apollo's the guy that's got the technology to do it. I don't know if he's going to teach me how to do it.
Maybe I'm talking out of school, but there's different levels of magic, right? There's like the magic we all have access to, but then there's those guys, you know, those unique individuals, those guys that are breathing the rare air, okay? And they have secrets that are just their own and they don't share them, you know? They just don't. And that's why Apollo hasn't lectured for magicians or even spoken to a magic group in 10 years.
Like one time, right?
Yeah, one time, exactly.
Yeah.
And so this is not your run-of-the-mill, let me show you how to do the card trick, the stuff. This is the kind of things that are going to open your mind, inspire you, and really make you understand what is possible.
Opportunity to just raise the bar on all the magic that you do by hanging out with a guy like this, that with this level of skill and, you know, this level of knowledge, man. I mean, he knows everything about everything. And it's the reason that he can create all these effects on the fly, because he's a living and breathing encyclopedia that's just immediately coming up with what to do in the moment, because he sees it so clearly, like signs are pointing to it. And it only comes from doing the work that he's done, doing the flight time, as we spoke about, but then applying it and getting out there in the real world and, you know, taking what he's learned and now finding new ways to be. Very inspiring.